In the bottom, playing Emeric, we have Fiven. Ooh, Emeric. We don't get to see that very often. And Mastro playing Koji. Interesting. So Emeric has been sort of like it's underwhelming from what we've seen so far. Like not many people have picked him, not many people have rated him that high. But he does have some really unique strengths as far as his tier 2 grows. Like you can get a lot of effectiveness out of what is it? Effectively like 2 range on a whole bunch of ranged units. It is very scary to go up against a trebuchet that has 7 range and crits with all of that too. Archers with 5 range.
Wait. Hold on. How does the treb crit work? Do you crit 5, 6, and 7?
As far as I know, it does. Because
What?
in Wargroove 1, I mean, I haven't tested this in Wargroove 2 actually, but in Wargroove 1, if it was windy weather, you would get the crit on both 5 and 6.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, wow.
And, you know, going up against Koji, who your main struggle is taking out those bombs safely from range, Emeric actually I think might be a good choice here. That said, Koji bombs are really scary and you can just die, so who knows? We'll see how this plays out.
If this were like 1 year into the future, I'd say the Emeric was going to win hands down. There's this weird interaction where because we're still new to Wargroove 2, late game just doesn't happen. And that's why Emeric hasn't been very popular lately. But once we get the hang of the game, Emeric is going to be top tier, mark my words.
Yeah, that makes sense. Emeric also, I feel, has this kind of trap where some people fall into, especially if you're new with him, where you will run your army forward, dump crystal on them, and be like, cool, my army's safe now because it's got all this extra defense. Which is not how Wargroove works. You want to keep your army positioned well, regardless of how much defense they have, and then you want to like use crystal along with that to kind of secure that. So yeah, it's a bit of a trap almost for players to fall into.
Like we were talking about how the twins are comfy. Emeric is the opposite of comfy. It is really hard to figure out where you're going to put that big cherry thingamabob.
I also love that little running the sword to the corner. It's gonna keep that alive to be annoying later on. Because you know that can just go and decap a village, or I can go and recapture even. But no, for now it's just gonna sit in that corner. Bide its time. How much else does it have?
Why does the world have a border? I want to live.
I know, especially because you can see outside of it. Although, funnily, a lot of that outside is just abyss, so it's kind of spooky, really. Anyway, Koji moving forward. This definitely has enough health to take this village down, unlike Emeric, who didn't quite have enough earlier. And that's a ton of pressure on the stronghold, actually. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Night Crit is lined up. Dragon is in a spooky level of range right now.
Emeric is a bit out of position to defend this.
Yeah, he really is, actually. Alright, dog comes forward. We see a lot of dogs, actually. Which is an interesting unit to combine with Emeric, because typically dogs are not good walls. And Emeric works very well with units that serve as walls.
Well, Emeric can make them into walls.
That is true. Although dogs kind of feel like they're frail enough to just die anyway, but I guess we'll see. Okay. And Mastro, I mean, they just really want to build more groove. We're going to see them go on the offensive here. Not going for all 3 cuts on the forest. This is like an interesting interaction you can see with lumber mills sometimes, where you'll actually deliberately use some of the forest to wall. Ooh, actually doesn't spend.
That looked like a screw up to me. Like they accidentally put their unit in the forest and was like, all right, I'll redeem next turn.
I guess, but you could cut down 1 and you'd still get it next turn anyway.
That's true, actually. Yeah, pro strats. Uh-oh. Yeah, Koji's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, on roads, there are multiple dogs in range. Is this going to be dog crit lethals?
Yeah, that's below 60 health. Koji is done.
Oh, yeah, that's a very dead looking Koji right there. And even goes for a little bit more capture just for the style.
I'm sorry.
Ooh, Mastro falls to a dog surround from Fiven. That is not what I expected when I opened this replay.
Yeah, dogs are really meta right now. The thing is, they're knights. I don't know if they were nerfed compared to commanders, but they just feel squishier than they used to be. So players have been using dogs to scare commanders away.
I think the big nerf that happened to Knights, especially on this map, is that there's chopped forest now. Like, you can't reinforce as quickly with Knights as you could before, whereas dogs are completely unaffected, so... Yeah, relatively speaking, like, dogs are a little bit stronger than they used to be, even if they hadn't changed anything to do with the dog. Knights got a slight nerf through terrain. So, I mean, just that's really well played there by Fiven. It's not often you get to see a dog surround triple or double crit, even triple dog. But Mastro, I mean, they hit the village with the commander first, which completely opened them up to that. Like, they dropped a little bit of health, and yeah, it just opened up the opportunity to get a lethal on them because they were just a little bit too low.
The funny thing is, Mastro has 0 kills.
Yeah, I mean, they were doing well on economy. Like, they were pushing the map, they were taking villages, but yeah, they just left their commander open and on a road. And this is, I guess, another thing that people need. I guess, like, new players especially, it's like one of the biggest things we saw in Wargroove 1 was you leave your commander on a road and they die. And here we're seeing why. It's still very true. Like, you do not want to leave your commander on a road. You have no defense, and you can die to a lot of things. There was a witch active. So yeah, really well played there. And Fiven takes it.